Hey, ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And we promised you some for that Six Divisions tournament, and we are delivering. This is the finals for that entire round robin business that we had going on here. So on the map of Cho, a 2v2 between these giant, I would say titans of tactics. But Rang, take it away before I get ahead of myself.
Yeah. So, on the left-hand side in blue, we have ourselves the Soviet Comrades, which is Yukadim as Desert Rat, and PMR Denster as 3rd Canadian Division. On the right-hand side, we have the Polish-Turkish Commonwealth with some name, we're just going to call him Roach, as the 2nd Panzer Division, and Frozen Fire as the 16th Luftlandr Division. So this is the finals, even though it isn't actually technically a proper finals. The winner of this match essentially wins the entirety of the tournament.
I do have to disagree with you on one thing in this cast so early, Rang, and I'm very, very sorry to do it. This is not the 91st Luftlandr, this is the 16th Luftwaffe.
Oh, 16th Luftwaffe. My bad.
There we go.
My bad.
Because you were saying something there, it was sounds a little bit weird to my ears, and I couldn't figure out why.
Oh yeah, it's something I haven't seen all too often, the 16th, so there we go. They should be in the skies, not on the ground.
Well, let's think about it this way. I think they're coming diving down to go after those desert rats. What do you think?
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, it's definitely a good way to put it. But 2v2 on show, a rather open map. So, I know all divisions do have good open range capabilities. I mean, 88 for Luftwaffe. 2nd Panzer gets, well, Panzers. 3rd Canadians got the round to early on, which is nice. And Zukadim, Desert Rats, early on, no little 1.2 kilometer range weaponry, but, good amount of tanks. And I think really this northern section of the town is going to be the major hot point. Quite literally, as flamethrower units are being brought in.
From both sides, for that matter, too, isn't it? Yep.
Yep. Can't go wrong with flamethrowers.
Early P4 against the Abbot of Chantry. Now, Abbot of Chantry is the only tank that the Desert Rats get early on. Is the P4 more than a match, or what?
Yeah. I mean, Abbott can really die to everything, and Panzer IV can easily penetrate it, so it really just comes down to who shoots who first.
Indeed. Okay, now down to the south, you say you don't really expect too much to go on, and I can't help but, agree with you there.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get started. Let's make a comment about the self-propelled gun that we saw down there, and you're absolutely right. The early deployments place a huge amount of troops over around that northern sector. And it really looks like the Germans, the PTC, is very much outnumbered up there. But are they outclassed?
That's a good point, because even though they are outnumbered, I mean, this is 2nd Panzer, so it is a lot of veterancy. So we got some Pantograms being brought in. The Stern Pioneers and half-tracks are going to make a rather big difference. The Stern Pioneers are pretty good. It's going to come down to, I think, Denster using his Humber and Roche, and also assault engineers, effectively. Or flamethrower troops, my bad. They're Canadian 2-man flamethrower troops.
Yes, they are. Yep.
It's really just going to come down to who can light who on fire first in this town, I'd say.
Well, that sounds pretty accurate. I guess we haven't really talked about the AT troops that are moving in as well. For both sides, for that matter. But especially, I was saying, even for Dinster. Dinster has a ton of anti-armor around that area, it looks like.
Yeah, he's gotten Piats, a Humber, and it's only really, well, the Panzer IV is actually a medium tank, but the half-tracks and whatnot are pretty easy to deal with, as it's just light armor. And Piats too, you really do need to get the Piats as Canadians, as you really like infantry AT early on with your regular infantry guys. And yeah, we got some Luftwaffe Pioneers and 2nd Panzer troops, so I love seeing this combination. We got 16th and 2nd Panzer going for the Northern Down, which makes a lot of sense, because those Pioneers are worth their weight in gold.
That is true, but we also have the Stormtroopers on the opposite side, and unlike those guys in white armor, these guys have tons of big booms.
Yep, lots of big booms indeed. And yeah, those Canadian guys, it really comes down to who can throw the satchel charge first, but the veterancy on the Stormtroopers and not being disheartened makes a big difference.
Fair enough. Now, as you would expect, like you said already, down to the south, not a whole lot going on. In fact, troops just kind of hanging on out. I do like this Pack 40 that's here super, super early. It should probably take out the stag gun pretty quick.
Oh yeah, that's a really good spot too. Is that pretty much cuts off that southern side of the town from a major flanking maneuver. And speaking of maneuver, 2-5 run push right through the middle. Yeah, that's how you use half tracks, right? Yeah, surround and destroy.
True, but the Abbot of Chantry apparently wants to go out to dispense some holy justice, even as an ME 109 comes on and to start dropping bombs.
Yep, and I think his town's gonna go under German control rather quickly, and like I said, just good use of, both players throwing in their units, because in 2v2s, it's usually better to, have two guys push one flank instead of playing two separate 1v1s.
I have to slightly disagree with you.
Okay.
We have a Staghound, we have the self-propelled gun coming on in, we have more flame troops coming in from the west. Do you really think that's... Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to have to eat my hat already. Those infantry folded a lot faster than I expected.
Yeah, it's just once the Canadians lose like F5 support, I mean, they can't do anything against the half-tracks, which is the real major threat. You do have the Staghound and 75mm AT gun being brought in, so they can... pick off for now, but I don't think a major offensive is going to happen into that town anytime soon.
Well, that's something. I guess that's what I'm trying to put some stock into. Forgive me, right there, we had a truck just pass on by. But no, I think that's what I was confused about putting too much stock into, is to say that, yeah, between the two of them, they outgun most everything that's up there from the German side of things.
Yeah.
Up to and including the Panzer IV to a certain extent.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I really like Common Ralph's pretty much division loadout, because 16th is a really good bloody 2v2 division, as they can defend extremely well. So as you see down south, Frozen Fire, he's just got like a good defensive line. It's pretty bare, but he can just set up a cheap defensive line down south and help his buddy do a two-pronged attack up north. And it just gets greater later on once you get 88 spam and other infantry. They're a very good defensive division, and because of that, you can just really push heavy on one side.
There's a rush. They're trying to pick up that P4. They're diving, dipping, ducking all over the place. Trying to line a sight on them, and they'll do that within a couple 100 meters here.
Yep, and they can both easily pan it. It's just trying to get within bloody range.
And transmission's damaged. The Abbot of Chantry, he's in and he's firing. So is that Ram too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a dead P4.
There's quite a lot of allied armor here now, so they can make a good play for it. They got the infantry being brought in, and it's just about keeping that armor alive to, give good fire support.
Let's talk about the infantry for a second. Even as we have the ME-109 comes back in looking for that mortar team, should be able to do some really good damage there. Talk about the infantry for a second. So here we have stormtroopers, of course, for some of the rats. We have all those rifles that kept pouring on in. And we have the Luftwaffe Pioneers and Sturm Pioneers. Who comes out on top?
I'd really say it's Axis, just because Luftwaffe Pioneers are extremely affordable and useful for the price. And once you get to B phase, Stormtroopers, German Stormtroopers with the STGs are really good in towns. Where, like, the Canadians have good infantry, but it really comes down to, like, good use of fire support to make rifles and Stormtroopers worth it, and they run out of Stormtroopers pretty fast. Desert Rat also has pretty good infantry, but it's just not enough, I'd say. It's a bit too specialized compared to just this whole blanket coverage, with bloody Luftwaffe Pioneers and STG combo that you can do with 2nd and 16th Luftwaffe.
Now, normally I'd be complaining about this, but the Panzer IV continues just to coast backwards further and further east.
And it's bailed out. Never mind, they're definitely dead, so...
Well, you know what, Castor's curse. I had to open my mouth and he had to die.
Yep, and thinking about it, from Zukadim's position, he could probably make a good push flank around the town of their current armoured forces. I mean, of course, they don't have recon, really, so I don't really know what. Yeah, but if they wanted to, they could probably make a good play. There is an 88 being brought up. So that would be a bit of a pain in the ass to deal with, but still, they have the armoured forces to try and do some sort of armoured push.
Yeah, one thing I've had at least an internal monologue and gripe about is the fact that the Staghound, in my mind, is an armoured car that should be able to get a lot more optics there. But would you really say flank around the town or just push on through? I think even keeping this, the Staghounds, the Staghound AAs, all of this artillery, all of everything that's even here, do they even need to go around, or can't they just brute force their way through?
Well, just looking at numbers, they can brute force their way around, but as we saw early on with the half-tracks flanking around, you can usually capture a town much faster if you manage to cut off the supply line. But in this instance, it's a little bit risky. I mean, Zukadim has spotted the 88 and they are trying to deal with it. And I do want to note that both sides using a lot of markers, which is lovely to see. Good for us, because we know what they're thinking about. And it's good to point out big scary tanks that are coming your way. And you need to shout to your teammate, and you need to get anti-tank weapons so you can actually blow it up.
Oh, and that's exactly what's being called out now, is that PTC desperately, desperately needs a lot of anti-tank, as there's so many stag hounds, it's practically a puppy farm.
Yeah, it's a lot of armor now. We've got stag hounds A being thrown in as well, so it's just a really good, armored force for the Allies.
Well, and even more than that, the Luftwaffe Jaegers and those rather outnumbered Fusiliers they have the anti-armor capability, but they don't have, let's say, the backbone to stand up to this that easily.
Yeah, it's a lot of. I like how he has a lot of his units on hold fire, because when you're outgunned in this situation, you wait for him to get close before opening up. But I feel like it's going to come down to the Axis getting a lot of artillery to try and stop us for now, right until B phase, to maybe get like a recon Panther or some STG infantry, because that's a lot of just fire support. Yeah, the Allies have brought down to the stag counts, AA and tank versions, and
too much DACA.
It's too much DACA, and it's too many targets. Like you can kill run, but it's still like 3 more regular stag counts. It's tough to deal with. Maybe it'd be best once B phase hits for bloody Commonwealth to maybe try and push through the middle on another flank, try to get some pressure up north, because this is, unless they can pull more infantry or start dealing with the stag hounds, they're going to lose this town.
Go ahead, Ryan. I just want to close the door real quick. Just continue doing what you're doing, all right?
But yeah, fighting's happening. People are being shot at. And the Axis to still hold on to the town pretty well. They've fallen back into it a bit, and once you get more into the center part, they can actually make use of the bloody Panzerfaust. But it's just, like, with the Staghound, there's no good angle of attack to actually shoot them. You have to try and get around the side of the town before you can actually, pop a shot into them.
Well, and that's what you always want to be doing, too. I mean, this isn't the south side of Brooklyn, but at the same time, you still want to be popping a cap in somebody's backside. You don't want to be doing it to their front.
Exactly. So you always want to, get the flanker shots. So it's always weaker in the rear armor. That's what Company of Heroes taught me.
Ain't that always the truth? We do have a couple. We have a very unique, I think, essential position between sniper, scouts, and machine gun. Now, if we didn't have all of these half tracks, I imagine it'd be a far better position. Can't help but feel, though. Oh no. Okay, I understand why he throws a Focke-Wulf in there to take out the mortar, but not why he takes a rocket version of that.
Rocket version of Focke-Wulf?
Yeah, I would have used at least the ME-109. The ME-109. It's a far better.
It's because in Luftwaffe you only get I believe you only get the rocket version of the. No, you do get rocket ME-109s in bloody Luftwaffe.
Exactly.
I don't know. They both pretty much have the same payload. It's not a huge deal, I'd say. And also, Focke-Wulf can easily get out because it's fast.
True. Yeah. True. Now, Spotter Panzer II coming on in to throw out some RD down on top of that Staghounds to the north, but I don't think any of them are really going off to the farm in the sky.
Yeah, it's not really going to do too much. And if Staghounds are just in a perfect defensive position, they're going to be very hard to deal with. And just looking at it, yeah, we got some more infantry, the Panzer IV. Maybe it's going to come down to Panther Strikes, I'd say, to try and kill these Staghounds. That's probably the best angle of approach, is sneaking through the town and trying to get a sneaky rocket launcher shot off.
Well, we do now transition here into Phase B. Oh my god, I forget about that thing all the time. The Flakpanzer Bren.
It's so dinky.
Oh my god. It's not even good looking. It's just like...
They literally just stapled it on top.
Yeah, it's like the tall kid who he had a growth spurt in high school and now wants to play basketball.
You think the British would have done the same thing with their 20 mils of the flak with their brains, but you know, German engineering for you.
German desperation, really. But, you know.
Desperation, that's a good one too.
Tomato, tomato.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But lest we forget, we are on 5149 here, so the PTC is slowly taking away some tickets here from the Rodina.
Mm-hmm.
And a second barrage, it's actually going to cause a slight hiccup in the Russian plans. This is very, very strange. Did I miss some stag hounds going down or something? Because I feel like there were a lot more than a few seconds ago.
No, they're still alive. I think it's just, there's still 4 AT stag hounds. I think the AA runs. No, they're still there. They're still there.
Well, about to be one less. There's a Shrek up to the north going after that highest, most... Oh, weapon jammed. Okay, whatever.
He's pretty much buggered. You can get the surrender on that pretty easily. Don't even have to race a shot. Yeah, I'd kind of just race a shot. Yeah, there we go. Just to be safe.
Better safe than sorry for one.
Exactly.
The last thing you also need is to have the staghound running rampant over behind your lines and getting some vague surrenders because he can.
Exactly. You want to kill the bastard before he can do anything.
Now, I am surprised that neither the Rats nor the Canadians are really looking to rupture anything else, anywhere else on the field. Again, this is, like you said, you called it perfectly. We had this giant meat grinder here. Now Sexton coming in to level the entire town.
There we go.
And I feel like it might have been a better idea just to group up some of these forces to the south, hit that southern arterial. Yeah, there's a Pack 38. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of them, actually. But you throw in a Ram 2, maybe, I don't know, a couple of staghounds down there, and I feel like it's a much better investment just throwing your guys again and again at the walls of this town.
You're entirely correct. I feel like both sides just fallen a little bit to tunnel vision, because both sides could really take advantage of pushing like in the middle or southern arterials, as it is pretty much barren on both ends, and you can make a lot of ground for little casualties on these southern and middle areas, and that's always good, because in the end of the day, it's just about ground held. And you're not going to get much ground hold in this northern town. And it's just a stalemate at the moment.
I think that stalemate's going to completely and totally fall off as we have both of these Sextons getting up and into the action.
Yeah, and 2-star 2 Sextons. That's too scary for me.
Yeah. Jagdpanzer is getting brought on in, though. Still quite terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. It has a recon optics, so we can, you know, spot the AT guns that could potentially shoot it.
And
There's
yet...
no AT guns to really worry about right now, but still, it's a very good tank. I like it a lot.
But we haven't seen those stormtroopers coming out, have we at all, though? No. No,
yeah,
like one squad. Oh, I was going to see one squad down here, the Strum Grenadiers.
Yep. And the rifles are pouring into the town. And they're pretty much just taking fire, so the fire support vehicles such as Staghound and Ram can, you know, pick off these German units. And once the rifles get deeper into the town, it's going to be tougher because you've got Stern Pioneers and whatnot in position, and they're just going to be able to get some very easy kills. So it's just a meat grinder, as you can see up north.
And now, even though it is a meat grinder, in meat grinder fights, I realize that in a one-on-one fight, the guy with the better experience, the better weaponry is going to win. But with all of these numbers, wouldn't rifle spam just start to bend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 3rd Canadian rifle spam is pretty damn efficient. At the same time, Luftwaffe can get, like, it can sort of rifle spam too, or Pioneers and whatnot. But I'd say the Canadian
They're still more
rifle
expensive,
spam,
though.
Yeah, the Canadian rifle spam, I mean, only 15 bloody points, as cheap as chips. They can just, and they're 2 self-infantry too, so they hold your ground longer, so they can get shot at more. So,
I also think we're slowly beginning to see a build-up in the center part of the map. Although, I feel like it got... Oh, we have the Recon Panther.
Yeah, the Recon Panther's moving up.
Yeah, did I miss... Apparently I missed that completely, because I was like, oh my gosh, I hadn't seen that at all. If he gets lucky and takes out a Universal Carrier or 2 here, this can make his life so much easier. He can't see it anymore, never mind.
Yeah. Smoke's blocking his view. There's 2 6-pounders. That's not really... okay, 2 self-infantry makes him a bit scary at close range, but still not the worst thing that you have to deal with.
But yeah, you know what? We talked about it now. I don't want to talk it too much to death, but I feel like again. Look where that 251 is, center part of the map. Just by the M5 half tracks as well. That little
Mm-hmm.
gap in the trees.
Oh yeah.
You set up, I don't know, 4 or 5 squads of infantry with attendant vehicles to back them up, and just pour through that gap, man.
Yeah, just try to get the flank around. That's exactly what. Yeah, that'd be the best way to approach it. And we've got 6-pounder soon at the Panther. Not really going to do much, but spot them for the artillery.
Well, and the
And
repurposed 396 firing the other direction though too. So
exactly. So I know looking at this, it seems like Zukadim is he's going to be gearing up for a shoot through the middle. And apart from that recon, okay, it's also a flak 88. But apart from those two things, I think he can make some damn good progress. Got the mortars as well helping out. So yeah, this could definitely go pretty well for the Allies, for the Soviet comrades.
meanwhile, to the north, we have what wasps coming on in, and a lot of those pioneers are either dead or they have no more flame to give.
Yeah, they've really given them all. And now I've got the Wasps. They're going to be a pain in the ass to deal with. The Axis don't really have much AT weaponry inside the town, so I think the Wasps are going to finish this off.
Yep, well, it
Yeah.
does not seem like it's gonna be too difficult, and they got to make up some speed. Ooh, Bren. I kind of fire watching this Bren engage to try Polston.
Yeah, he's a little battle gun. The tanks are coming around the corner now. And it's very good, yeah, to, have managed to keep our tanks alive up north, as they're really the deciding factor in this northern town attack. It's just the overwhelming fire support.
Well, we also know that the Jagdpanzer is on the field now.
Mm-hmm.
He is engaging those staghounds a little bit, and luckily for him, they're at such great range right now. There's no way in hell they should penetrate at 900 meters or more.
Exactly. Axe Panzer's in a pretty lovely spot. You know, just to kind of like cut off that southern area of the town. It's a tight angle, but it's still an angle nonetheless.
And like you said, we are slowly seeing a resumption of blue in the north, but the Germans have done a little bit of aggression in the south. They're almost going to get a +2 here, and that's big.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal, yeah. And yeah, see down south that one recon Puma has, captured a lot of ground with not much bloodshed. This is why you attack over the open areas on this map, because you can get a lot of ground very easily. But apart from that recon path, there's not really much. Yeah, he needs some, needs some meat with his potatoes.
A little bit of pork with the sauerkraut.
Exactly.
A couple of the self-propelled guns are getting shelled in the north. We're seeing some, occasional death and destruction here. But the Germans cannot hold back this storm.
Yeah, the
Not
kangaroos.
even bringing in an entire, oh my gosh, like an entire platoon of troops.
Yeah.
Oh my, there's so much ground fire. Oh my god.
It's so many like kangaroos and rifles and rocks. You're just completely outnumbered, and the Germans just don't have the AT capabilities and SCQC area. Damn, look at that bombing run. Did pretty good,
Yeah.
but the Spitfire's gonna kill it, and there goes the cluster bomber.
Cluster bomber or clusterfuck?
That was definitely a clusterfuck.
We are. Ooh, interestingly enough,
Yeah.
we're going to see that the off-map arty with the Panzer IV.
Oh, cool.
Not often. I don't think. I might be wrong here. I haven't seen that very often. I feel like that's something that people kind of put in when they're not sure what else to do.
Yeah, it's a really good unit because it acts as a fully functional Panzer IV once it's done with all the artillery shots. But because you only get like one per card in most decks, it's usually more efficient to get like, I don't know, like a longer lasting artillery unit. In my Panzer deck, I make sure to use them because they're highly vetted, and in B phase, it's just kind of like alright. But yeah, it's just due to the fact that you usually only get one per card, you don't see them all too often. But apart from that, they're a really good unit.
Yeah, and I imagine though that Rocket's gonna be other direction now. They're trying to push that guy back. Are they moving anybody else up to take him out? No.
Nope. And these 2-star sections, as you can see, are just pummeling everything yet the Germans bring up. And 16 Luftwaffe, major weakness, is being counter-batteried, especially by Saxons, as they can't effectively, deal with Saxons at long range. Oh,
Well, Wasp. He's gonna sting this poor artillery piece to death.
look at the kangaroos pushing through too. This is beautiful. It's they use light armor. Yeah, the Panda Force come up here and try to stop his tomfoolery.
But even this, okay, even with them diving so deep to the northern side here, they're still down by 3%.
Yep, yep, and it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to capture that northern town, and it hasn't really gained them yet much progress so far. They've lost quite a little bit in the middle. Yeah, it's not hard to take back. It's just like the Germans decided to put some units in the middle to contest. But considering they have the town, it's at a pretty good staging point to attack from the rest of the map. There's a Panther A now in the field. They're on sea phase, by the way, so we are going to be seeing some of those fat cats. And yeah, I have a feeling that the Germans or Commonwealth are going to be able to contain the Soviets in this northern sector, and then just keep your small point advantages down south and in the middle just by, having the decency to put some units here.
Well, we're finally seeing the Allies getting on their horse about that, too. So we have 5 or 6 squads coming in.
Oh, they're going up.
More than enough to rupture that part.
Yeah, and that'd be a really good place if they can capture, I don't really call it, like, the highway south of the town with a lot of villages and whatnot. Because that's a really good defensive point past the town, and that would pretty much cover the southern sector of the town.
I'm watching these desert rats creep closer and closer to start throwing at their gammon bombs.
Yep, and just that town is just getting battered away. I would not want to be a rifleman in there at the moment because it's getting ugly.
Oh, it's been ugly, my friend.
It's just. I mean, I'm just zooming in around the town right now, and everything's just like on fire or cratered or blown up. Well, what the hell?
Sturm Grenadiers getting a good couple of shots here and there. Ooh, this infantry could get picked off. That's good for another percent or two. Charge! That's one.
That's one.
And not get the second one. He's going to pull back too fast. We are going to see an armored push that's going to hit the same time as this artillery barrage. This could be absolutely bonkers perfect, or it could be awful.
Yeah. It's, I mean, it doesn't have anything fast enough, I'd say, to really, like, take advantage of. If he had some 2-5 runs, he could really just push through and get a bunch of surrenders, but like Panthers and Stugs and Panzer IVs and in a town, it's a bit risky at the same time. There's not much AT in terms of infantry AT. I mean, Desert Rats have gammon bombs, and there's also some Shermans and stuff, so maybe the German tanks can have some fun CQC time, so we'll see. I like how he's moving the Panther around the southern area instead of just like barreling it through the middle, because that's something you definitely, even if you do have the opportunity, don't want to ever bring into a town.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's been watching Saving Private Ryan, so it's always a good thing to kind of keep in mind. Now, we are going to see some Fireflies coming on in to watch the southern approach.
Oh, yeah, and that's gonna be pretty good to try and, I mean, Fireflies are lovely in long range, so I think Zukadim's going to be able to make a pretty, they're all making a pretty good dent in this, like, middle arterial, especially if that Firefly out in the field. There's not really much here from the Germans.
But they're still not back from that 50-50 just yet.
Yeah.
And Chantry's going to get rocketed into oblivion, and he can definitely get penned super easily. No, he's going after the infantry instead. Never mind.
And he's still alive with that whole 4 frontal armor.
Clearly, he's been praying. But off to the north, the Allied position is completely folding. Oh my god, the infantry's getting paired out like crazy. Flamethrowers, guns galore, and the Sextons are way too close to the front lines. What the heck are they doing?
Yeah, they are a little bit close, especially the Panther, right? Yeah, but maybe he wants some very close range fire support. Panther goes down. Firefly gets a kill.
Yep.
There we go. And yeah, he's going to be getting the Sextons out of dodge, which is definitely the smart call. This is a pretty good, push from the Germans. They're using the armor vehicles. They don't have much in terms of infantry here, but it's really just coming down to using their light vehicles and, the supporting Stugs and Panzer IVs.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, how do the Allies come back from this?
I say just keep trying to push through middle. I mean, you've got Zukanim for these Desert Rats and, Denso with these rifles. They can make a lot of progress in middle if they just do a bloody foot surge across the open field. If they can just maybe get like an artillery piece or two to do with like these flat guns, like a flak 88 in the mid,
Mm-hmm.
they'd be pretty good to just push on through. But really, that town is just, it's too much of a meat grinder, and considering that they need to catch up to like 1,000 points in 12 minutes, that's like a +2, +3. Yeah, that's like a +3 situation you need to get. And you're not going to get it in that northern area of the town.
I kind of get the feeling at this point it's just sort of pride for them
Yeah.
charging on through with this nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, it's... I understand why, like, people always fight over the towns, because it's like, the town's always the most strategic place to hold, as it's a really good defensive position. But, in the end of the day, it comes down to holding, map territory, and this is such a small amount of territory compared to what the rest of the map has to offer with its vast, sweeping fields of French countryside and trees.
Yeah, yeah, it kind of flies in the face of all that kind of tactical stuff you and armchair generals hear. Hold the town, you control everything. Well, that's nice, but the town's only, 4% of the entire map.
Exactly, and his whole fields down below are like a nice 6 to 8%.
And the Germans are continuing to hold them.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, 16th Luftwaffe is such a good division for holding, and down south has 88 RL holding the front line. At the same time, Soviets are being rather slow in their push. They don't trying to make a major breakthrough, so really need to be doing, because there's only 11 minutes left for them. Oh, Messerschmitt Fokkerov coming in, get a good kill.
Yep, he's gonna be able. He should be able to get pulled back in time too.
Yeah,
he doesn't even need to. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, thank you, idiots. I was like, what the heck? He pulled away from it.
You don't have to worry about getting shot down when you have 3 flak 88s on the field.
And the Germans, okay. Yeah, the rocket runs are always such a weird thing in my mind to be using against infantry. I always continue to think rocket runs should be against vehicles. It makes sense. But I don't often see people actually using them against. Yeah, at least in my mind, how it should be.
I understand, because I usually only see rocket just like the Allies anti-tank ones. But for the Messerschmitt and Fokkerov rocket planes, because they have a pretty fast reload, like I keep saying, the Messerschmitt rocket plane has a 2-minute reload. You just want to use that against infantry whenever you can, because you just want to be stunning up stuff, and just keep getting that 2-minute reload. You don't want to be leaving it around for 6 minutes. As it could have been 3 rocket runs you could have done instead of just one.
I get that. I get that.
But,
Sherman, go ahead.
No, go ahead, sorry.
No, please.
That rocket run down south has really turned the tide as the Luftwaffe Jaegers are keeping back those rifles.
We'll let them sniper scouts in the meantime. Oh yeah, the half-track, we get some motorized rifles are in there too. And again, we make fun of the rifles with their Piats, but those guys aren't terrible.
No, they're really good.
They hold the line pretty darn well. Sexton, the third Sexton moving on, and is that 2 more? No, these Sextons have been redeployed like crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, those are guys that are going more towards the middle of the map now. And just as long as they can just use this artillery to batter the 88s, you just need to kill the bloody 88s. But you need to also push. And they only have 9 minutes left, and it's just... That's going to be tough to come back from unless they can do some crazy armored push. And they can do a crazy armored push. 3rd Canadian and Desert Rats are pretty good with armored style pushes.
Completely in agreement there, sir. Completely in agreement. And they are prepping for that middle position. You can see it. Fireflies lining up. They have the 2 Sextons. They have the almost the 4.5-inch mortars. Massive ordnance being lofted down range. And the Germans don't have any artillery to fire back the other direction, which is confusing as all hell to me, but,
That's what happens is every time 16th Luftwaffe brings an artillery piece, and it just gets counter-batteried by the Sexton.
Oh yeah, to oblivion instantly, yeah.
Yeah, because you can't fight against Sextons, even with big Russian guns, such as the 396, you don't win an artillery war with a 2-star Sexton, you just bloody surrender, or run away out of range. Or get an IG-18, but even then, it's not going to happen.
I say, but enough about French tactics. Cromwell being brought down to the south, and I think these guys are finally listening to us, right?
Yeah. Down south, they can make some pretty good plays. Very lightly defended, just at run Pack 38 being danger for the Cromwell. At the same time, Cromwell has more armor, and the Pack 38's penetration at max range. So maybe I can do something. We've got a push in the middle now of the rifles attacking that tree line. They're gonna easily overrun it. It's just they got
Easily
8
overrun
minutes.
it?
Yeah.
The 231's still there, and they don't have anything to it to engage that.
Good point. I mean, the Firefly can move its way down south and get a shot down the road once the smoke clears up.
Yeah, it's an awful lot of redeployment, though.
Yeah.
And, might be incorrect here, but nope, the Sturm Grenadier still have a ton more smoke they can put down.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully he decides to use it, because smoke is great, especially when it's keeping that 231 alive right now.
Meanwhile, to the north, another Flak 88's getting crushed, just getting creamed by the constant barrage.
Yeah.
Now, were I the Germans, I would try to get some sort of line of sight onto that artillery park in the back so I can start blowing it to pieces.
Exactly. I'd like if you can sneak like a recon unit up. At the same time, it's pretty hard as there's not really too many. Well, he could actually sneak up at Luftwaffe Fusilier up to like a building to the rest by like 400 meters or so, but yeah, it's you really do need to try and knock out those Saxons as soon as you can, especially when they're bloody 2-star Saxons. But it's always hard because like sometimes getting line of sight can be a pain in the ass. In this situation, not so much. Can they actually? Let's see if they can actually see him.
No, they can't.
No, they can.
Oh, and I thought you were talking about the mortars to the north, because that's also kind of annoying too. I mean, that's even more annoying than the Sexton.
Oh, yeah.
The Sexton, that thing can shift and fire all day. But those mortars, they sit in one spot, and he's not being able to do anything about them from the ones in the center, the ones in the north. They've been there for like 10 or 12 minutes at a time.
I know, and they do a lot of damage, as you can see. And 2-star infantry as well makes them, you know, considering it's a round for big mortar, they shoot pretty fast considering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We got another Panther A being brought in. It's going to be able to defend the line, and really that's all the Germans need, just to defend the line, buy some time.
Were you looking to rhyme on that one? Because if you weren't, oh,
I
you're
wasn't.
so good.
I actually wasn't. But it's just the way she goes.
You're a lyrical master.
Thank you.
Down south, the abortive attempt never materialized, and the shooter's wounded on the Panther, which means that he's probably dead.
Yeah. You got allies dropping in smoke, which, well, this. If he didn't have the smoke, he probably could have killed the Panther. At the same time, he probably did it because he's worried about his Firefly with its morale bar, so... Okay, I kind of understand.
Yeah, you kind of understand, but I'd still trade a Firefly for a Panther.
Yeah, especially considering C-Phase 2nd Panther economy. Those Panthers are like a 3-minute investment.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 2 Fireflies down south, which outnumbers, well, 1 Panther, got a 2nd Panther being brought in, so... But still, just the Allies, they need to make a big push, but it's just not going to happen.
Well, there's a Pack 40 there as well, so the Pack 40 has... Okay, oh, Pack 38 knocked out the driver. Pack 40, start the fire, my man. Engage,
there we go.
rookie.
He got line of sight.
He's got 1 shot, 1 opportunity. And he doesn't get it anymore, never mind.
He doesn't get it. He didn't even miss because he didn't even get a chance to shoot.
Oh my god, the MG-27s. Oh, yeah. Ooh, wait, the Pack 38 is still in range, technically. Oh, half track goes down. No, he's not in range, never mind.
Yeah, he's not. And there's the artillery being dropped in.
Horst Ramst comes on into the north, which means we're going to be seeing a dead E4 pretty quickly. Outside of that, though, we are 50-50 right now.
Yeah, and this is exactly what the Polish-Turkish Commonwealth needs to win, and it seems like they are going to be the victors of this match.
Zuko taps.
Zuko taps.
So, with 1 player tapping out, I suggest at 44-45, we go to ×2.
Yeah, it's kind of rare that only 1 person taps.
Well, Dinster, of course, is made of sterner stuff, or ×2. Or Dinster, encourage Hugo Dim to just take himself out back and shoot himself, for the good of the motherland.
Yeah.
The Russians, man.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently.
Meanwhile, to the north, those weird half tracks are being brought on in the U-630s. bringing
yeah.
in lots more anti-tank troops just to kind of hold the line for the last couple of seconds.
It's just those things look so dumb. It's like a flattened frog.
Yes, yes, with no ups.
Yeah, it's just it's such a bizarre design.
So we probably do want to take this moment to congratulate Electric Weka 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 and Frozen Fire on winning out on this 6 Divisions tournament. I do not see Dinster turning his back around and completely 100%ing the map.
Yeah,
so
I think it's a safe bet to say that the Turks and the Poles have run this run.
Which is weird because the Poles and the Turks can't agree on anything.
Yeah, and usually they lose against the Russians if we're talking historically.
Oh yeah. Well,
I mean, talking like 1700s.
Yeah, I mean, we're going pretty far back here. But
Pretty
you know
far
what?
back, yeah.
You know what? I still have to agree with you. But congratulations to those two guys. Zuko, I would have liked to have seen you finish out the game completely. Dinster, thank you for being a good sport and hanging on in till the last second. And this is terrifying when you think about it. That 223 and the 2 Panther A's that are now 3-star veterancy. Those are angry kitties.
Yeah, those are very pissed off cats, and they're just barreling through. They're getting stunned up by the Tripostans. Oh, no, he's going to kill the other one. Yeah, easy peasy.
Well, and even more than that, we just actually, forget it. Not worth it. All right, so congratulations to the PTC. Definitely seemed like our second Panzer was carrying the bulk of the weight there for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's, they got, like, the fancy toys, and they're going to be getting the kills, but even though Frozen Fire didn't get, like, a lot of... He still got a good KD, and not as much as Water Chateau Luka Leko Kulak. He held the ground, and 16th Luftwaffe is good at holding ground, and he just bide time for holding ground.
It's exactly what they did. Hold the line.
I'll hold the line, and that's such a good division dynamic of 2nd and 16th. I can't recommend it enough. The 2nd is like one of the greatest. Like, it's a very good attacking division, and Luftwaffe is a great defense division. But looking at the like history, it's pretty.
It's fairly even.
Yeah, it's probably even early on. Like, a lot of blue stuff dies in the first 3 minutes, but after that, it's like a multicolored rainbow, but without orange or yellow or purple or turquoise.
Really, a lot of fun colors. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun colors. It's a bit primary for my liking, but
well, no yellows.
Oh, yellow. Oh shit, I'm colorblind.
But alright,
yeah.
With that in mind, the end of the 6 Divisions tournament has come. And I doubt I'm alone in saying I hope that we have more of these kind of things continuing further. So, was it Curbs that put this together? I can't remember who did.
It was Scouts. His name was Scouts.
So Scouts, a big thank you to you for putting this together. Hopefully we see some more material from you soon. Any last thoughts there, Rang?
No, like I said, I hope we see some more like 2v2 tournaments. We already got a few 1v1 tournaments come around, but it's nice seeing, even though it's a little bit harder to cast, some 2v2 play being played. As it, breaks things up a bit, and sometimes it's more fun to, play with a friend.
Exactly. So, I need to go out and find some, because I know you don't want to play with me, so...
I'll play with you, Colin. I can carry.
Alright.
Sorry, man.
I'm gonna go before my ego gets hit too much harder. Alright, folks, you all have a great day. This is Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo. Take it easy.